Welcome to the American Business Podcast. This is Kevin Devecioglu, your host. I'm welcoming you, episode 85 in the American Business Podcast. American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Today we have a special guest, and I'm gonna get the conversation started, and we learn something new, something exciting and informative in the American Business Podcast, episode 85. Let's invite our guest and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Bennett. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you very much for being with us in your busy schedule. How are you? How is your week going so far?
Pretty good. Got home from Mexico last night at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I was there for a week for a wedding. But it was great. Yeah, an amazing trip. Super fun. Mexican weddings are a lot more fun than Utah Mormon weddings, which I'm used to growing
Oh,
up.
wow. Yeah, I heard about it, but I never had the chance to experience one. So I'm glad that you had the chance to, go there and experience. That's great.
Yes, it was fun.
Well, yeah, if that's okay, we can get the conversation started. And we typically start with introductions. If you can introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners, that'd be great.
Yeah, what I'm currently working on is Franchise Key, a franchise brokerage helping top brands scale and find new clients and customers. Before that, I founded a cookie company that I expanded in a few years. I'd purchase it, sold 400 something locations, opened up about 100 of them, and then sold it all within about 3 years. Before that, I had a solar company as well. So, but I feel like I'm a sales guy at heart. I like entrepreneurship and sales and finding a good product, and then how do I get that product in the right person's hands so we can have a win-win experience. I don't know if that's the drug of choice for me.
Yes, this is really exciting. So I mean, as full-time business software is my actually my profession, and CRM systems, the customer relationship management system, is our flagship product that we are offering to market. That's why I have had a chance to meet with many different sales and marketing professionals. So I always appreciate the energy and also the motivation in the sales professionals as well as marketing professionals. So I'm glad we are having this conversation. Well, can you tell me about your career path a little bit? How
Yeah.
did you get started? How your career path unfolded over the years?
Yeah, starting, I guess, I started selling door to door really young. Candy bars, snow shovels, lawn aeration. One of 9 kids, single mom. So it's kind of just like, get out there, hustle, pay for football camps and things like that. Cutco was my first real job, which is like they sold knives, like a $2,000 set of knives. I did a 2-year Mormon mission, which is knocking on doors and, selling your ideology over somebody else's ideology. Then I got into door-to-door sales right after that. Dropped out of college, did pest control, satellite, internet, alarm systems, which led me to solar. And that kind of, I guess, full loop around there. And 2020 is when I started a solar company. So 2020, it's only been 5 years since I've got into business, but in that solar company, I ran it for about 18 months. I had a 7-figure exit. And then with Dirty Dough, again, it was only about 3 years. And here with Franchise Key, I'm in it about 8 months. And so far it's, I feel like every business, you make little tweaks. You're like, okay, this business was great because of XYZ, but I like with solar, I lacked fulfillment, right? And then with Dirty Dough, I had the fulfillment, but I lacked the time. And now with Franchise Key, I'm like, okay, I want the time, the fulfillment, and the money. Let's see if I can make it happen. So that's my journey so far.
Yeah, this is really exciting, and I'm glad our audience they are listening to you, because you just mentioned 4 or 5 different industries in just couple of minutes, which is really great. I mean, that just makes our podcast more informative. So that's great. Can you tell us your day-to-day work in a way that what are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
Yes. I mean, the thing that I'm probably working most on is not working and being okay with not working. I'm really pushing for a 20-hour work week, and I've been pretty good at it. Not working Fridays other than right now, just because I got back from Mexico. I've taken quite some time off. So like, I'll do a podcast on Friday.
Thank you.
But how do I structure my life and my business to break away from what every single person that I've ever met has told me is you can't be successful with 20 hours a week until your business is already established, right? Maybe then, but not during the startup phase. You have to struggle, you have to grind, you have to hate your life, you have to suffer. I did that for my last two businesses, and this one I'm like, I'm not really gonna do it. So I feel like on the day-to-day, a lot of it is just the mindset on how much do I want to be working and setting those boundaries. Now, when I am working, what's the most exciting? Just business strategy. And a lot of it I don't get paid for. It's just random people that will hit me up and like, oh, I'm thinking about franchising my business. Do you want to I mean, can you give me some advice? And it's just having those business strategy conversations, learning about a new product, and then trying to uh, package that in a way to sell. What I'm doing with Franchise Key, I guess a little bit more specifically, is finding new brands or new companies that meet the criteria that I'm looking for that I can go push and sell. Like the first company that I partnered with was a tanning red light therapy type business called Glow Tanning. Um, yeah, and so end of February, and what are we? So like 7 months, 7 months ago, we started ads with them um, to say, hey, who wants to buy a franchise? Right? They've been around for a bit, but they hadn't pushed franchising. In just 8 months, we've collected just under $3 million in revenue for them and placed another 100 territories, which usually for a company to grow by 100 territories, that takes them several years, decades, or they never reach it. Um, but with the sales engine that we have paired with a really good brand, we've been able to achieve it with glow tanning. Now it's finding the next 5 companies that we're doing that with, and we just signed on 3 like during this month. So that's really been exciting, kind of vetting through different companies and seeing which ones really fit with what we're trying to offer, which is like a very secure franchise versus, I mean, there's a million franchises or a million businesses you can buy, but there's not too many of them that have 100 locations with 0 closures in company history, things like that most people don't really know what to look for. And it's like, hey, we'll just pick the top 1% and try to represent those ones.
This is really exciting. Well, can you expand on franchising a little bit? So,
Yeah.
if that's okay, it is because we also have a large audience of entrepreneurs and investors, right? So, if you can share some insights in terms of about franchise fundamentally, as well
Yeah.
as like what is the best way to invest.
So you have the franchisor and the franchisee. The franchisor is going to be is often the corporate. And then the franchise owner is like, okay, so if I want to buy McDonald's, I don't own McDonald's. I just own my local McDonald's. I'm the franchisee. Why would I want to do that? Well, maybe because I have some money, I have some business experience, but I don't know how to make hamburgers. I don't know how to come up with recipes. I don't know how to or want to do the marketing. So can I pay McDonald's an upfront fee, or whatever brand I'm going to go with, a Jimmy John's? I give Jimmy John's $40,000. That's my franchise fee. So I get access to their playbook. Then I have a playbook that's led to the most successful food franchise over the last 30 years. That's been Jimmy John's. So it's like, yeah, I'll pay 40K for that, right? My risk is now mitigated because I'm buying into something that's worked before. There's no guarantee it's going to work for me. But if you look statistically speaking, if you buy a franchise, especially if you're doing the vetting right, your business, the numbers are a lot better as far as who goes out of business first. If you're trying to do it all yourself, or if you're trying to do a franchise. So there's a lot of advantages, and then there's scalability, right? So once I have my first Jimmy John's store open and all my employees trained, I know how to find the sites. I know how to build out the stores. I have the relationships with the contractors. I know the system. Now for me to get one Jimmy John's to go to 2, 3, 4, and 5 Jimmy John's, that's where I think the real cool freedom comes from franchising. Typically, a big misconception is in franchising is like, yeah, I'm just going to pay Crumble, 100K or whatever, and get my store open, and it's just going to run itself for me. And it's like, no, typically when you buy a franchise, you just bought yourself a job, right? You're a business owner now, you're an entrepreneur. It sucks. You work the latest hours, you get paid last, and you're like, shiz, what did I get myself into? But if you could go from that 1 crumble up to 3 crumbles, and you look at the crumble numbers and you're like, wow, the average store out of all of their stores makes 150K times 3. Okay, that's 450K take home into a model, that I didn't have to figure it out. Like Crumble's been doing it. They do the marketing for me. So I think that's the cool thing of franchising is you can really get to that semi-passive, more like retirement work, or at least work on your business, not in your business, a lot quicker. Because if you're choosing the right franchise, it's all about systems and processes. It's not about if you are the best salesperson or if you're the best marketer or if you're the best sandwich maker.
How much of an investment will be needed in general?
Um,
I'm sure there are variables, but
yeah,
in
yeah,
general, in
super
general.
big variables. I would say most like QSR, quick service restaurants, like a Jimmy John's it's 400 to 600K all in. And then you can do an SBA loan. SBA loves franchising. Typically, like, it's proven models if you get the right businesses. So you
True.
can get into franchising. And a lot of people don't know this because they think they need $500,000. You can get in with 50K would probably be the minimum that most franchisors will look at. But 100K, if you had 100K cash, you do an SBA loan for the rest, whatever that remaining amount is, and use some leverage. So again, go back to, I don't know the Jimmy John's numbers, but let's say a Jimmy John's costs $500,000 to start up. I invest 100K into it cash. I get a loan for the rest. Well, I imagine a Jimmy John's is making at least 100K on average, right? So if I hit average numbers, my cash on cash return is 100%. Then I can use after I build up to break even, get to the profitability, maybe I'm going to get my first 100K and I'm going to invest into the second Jimmy John's and then the third Jimmy John's. And so with 100K and 4 or 5 years of execution, I now have 3 Jimmy John's that are making me $300,000 a year. And it only cost me, again, 100K to get into plus a few years. And not only are they making me 300,000 a year, each one of those businesses, I mean, like I own those businesses. I could sell those 3 Jimmy John's stores to somebody else for maybe, $600,000 to $1 million in enterprise value. So you're gaining the enterprise value plus the cash flow when you're doing it correctly.
That's exciting. Thanks for these insights. Very educational. Let's talk about AI a little bit. What do you think about the impact of AI, and how do you see the impact of AI on franchise businesses?
Yeah, it's everything. How do I see the impact? I see the impact on everything. It's like what I was just having this conversation with some cousins in Mexico, my wife's cousins, and it's like I don't even know what to tell him to do. It's like because he's in high school, and he's like, man, I don't really like high school. Was school good for you? And I was like, I went to school. I was a straight A student, even all throughout college, but I dropped out a semester left, and I never looked back. And I typically don't recommend higher education. Based on what you want to do. But even like if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, like those jobs are gone. Like there's no point of starting a career being a doctor when we know AI is better. Like it's already better today, and people are going to trust accuracy with their health. Yes, there's human interaction, you want that, but accuracy is more important when it comes to health. Accuracy is more important when it comes to law. And ChatGPT knows everything that's ever happened in law way better than any lawyer that I can hire. So it's hard. And then you think, well, be a plumber. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, be a plumber. But you look at Optimus, the Tesla robot, and then you're like, well, no, they say that within 5 years for 30K, it'll be your plumber forever for only 30K. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to know, but I guess the summary is don't worry about it in the sense of don't think you're going to predict what AI is doing. A year ago, we did not predict that I could upload a picture of my face and make a deep fake of myself typing in a script, and then it sounds and looks like me. That wasn't imaginable in a year ago. Like, yeah, maybe in 10 years, but like here in a year, we're at it. So now my philosophy is just use AI as much as you can. I talk to it every day, pay for this $20, whatever the hell they charge you, so you can do like the live voice and get to know AI. Let AI get to know you. I record every conversation, every sales meeting, every meeting ever is just recorded from Google Meets, and it's always uploaded to my AI training folder. And so the AIs know my business. It knows every single weekly meeting we've ever had, every goal we've ever hit, who's hitting them, who's not. And you could just put so much massive amounts of data in there. Now, I'm not wearing it today because today's not a work day, but usually I wear, it's called Plaud, Plaud AI. It's a recording device that integrates with Gemini and ChatGPT and all of that. But I just record my full work days of conversation. I've been doing that for a few months. So I can go in and tell ChatGPT, write this script using my voice, and it's just like as good as it can get. So then you can really leverage, like my social media is all done by AI, all of the captions, all of the responses to the comments, everything, but it's very well trained to me. And it's not just the general chat GTP. You make custom GTPs that you're giving it specific, because how I want the response to a comment is going to be different than how I want the response when I ask it to structure a post. Or actually, right before this call, I have a custom GTP that says podcast prep. I take a screenshot of the calendar invite and I put guest prep, because I'm also a host, so I'll do host prep. So I just have to clarify if it's guest prep or host prep. When I say it's guest prep and then I upload the screenshot, I didn't have to do anything else. It sees your email, sees the name of the podcast, then it gives me all the details that I wanted to know, like how long has the show been running for, and whatever those details are. But leveraging AI, I would say, is the most important. And then again, to reiterate, just don't think that you're going to outguess it. You have to just let go of control more now than ever, because there is no control with what's going on, and just trying to work with AI instead of trying to think you're going to outsmart it.
What is the name of your podcast?
Deeper Than Dough. It's following the emotional side of the entrepreneur's journey. The quick summary is I sold my solar company summer of 2021. I was 310 pounds, and I became a millionaire on paper, right? Whatever the hell that means, at 28. And that was just my goal, right? Like everything was built up to that goal, and I achieved it. And then I like looked around at my life and I felt great, like dopamine goes up, serotonin high, and then it goes back down. It can't stay in your brain forever. It's not supposed to. And then it left me thinking like, hey, what do I actually want in life? So Deeper Than Dough, more than money. And it's focusing on finding joy and fulfillment despite life's dirtiness. So don't wait for life to be perfect in order to be able to enjoy it on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah, this is exciting. So, well, it's good announcement as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing this. I appreciate it. Well, from the franchising point of view, also business in general, because you've been to different industries and verticals, so you have a really vast experience. What are the best marketing methods or marketing channels that you've seen so far bringing you the highest ROI?
Yeah. Social media. So with Dirty Dough, we sold 450 franchises, didn't spend any ads. I was in a national lawsuit with Crumble that gave us a lot of exposure, and we played, it was fun, and we definitely won the public's opinion on that. But if you sell 450 franchises, crap, I forgot where I was going with that, Kevin. I was like,
yeah, no problem.
Sorry, can you remind me what you asked
Yeah,
me?
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
no worries. It's all good. The marketing ROI. So what are the best
Okay.
channels
Yeah.
to get the
So
best ROI?
personal branding. So I sold 450 franchises. That's well over 10 million in revenue that we collected. And the ROI was, I was just posting every day. Again, it wasn't me, it was somebody out of the Philippines that they kind of trained, but getting on social media and creating a personal brand. So most of that was probably LinkedIn. And it's not me messaging people on LinkedIn saying, do you want to buy a franchise? Never. I never did that. Or even posting every day, do you want to buy a franchise? Maybe 10% of my posts are about the opportunity to buy a franchise. It's just getting out there. And if people relate to you, like your advice, trust you, then maybe eventually, whether it's in 2 weeks, 2 months, or 5 years, they're going to want a part of what you're doing. Right. And I think that has had a huge ROI. Now, a little bit. So for business owners listening, if you don't have a personal brand, you're not posting every day. That was the best advice I got, is just post every day. And because I started doing that, and then I'm like, then as a process business person, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it a little bit better. I'm going to make it a little bit better. And over the years, it's been a really good sales engine. Then apart from that, it's just having, meta ads. So I ran my solar company. We did a lot of door-to-door, which is great, but harder to scale. So we also did online, and, having somebody getting a really compelling product with a really compelling offer that you can offer in an ad. So like when I'm offering glow tanning, you'll see an ad that says 15 years in business, 100 locations, 0 closures, average store netting over $300,000. Click here to learn more, right? So you have to have a really good business. It's like, wow, that's sexy, right? having that ad, I guess, from the marketing standpoint, is the best. Yeah, just Facebook and Instagram have been the best. And then outside of that, the free advertising ROI, which has been a lot bigger than Facebook and Meta, is personal branding.
Yeah, appreciate it for these insights. In your career journey, have you had any role models, any mentors who help you shape your career path?
Yes, absolutely, a million. I'm going to go with more mentors than role models, which is funny because I was just talking to my wife last night about role models, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever looked up to somebody on like social media, like I want that person's life, because if it's on the business standpoint, it's like, yeah, they're successful with business, but it's Warren Buffett. He's 95 and still the CEO. That's not what I want at all. Like
Okay.
no, I'm 32 and I'm working 20 hours, right? So, but mentors on like piece of advice on like, okay, I'm not going to take this guy's advice maybe on family life, because that's not perfect or whatever. But on the business side, yes. The best thing that I think I did for Dirty Dough was getting a group of advisors, which I didn't know what it was. So you can get a board of advisors. They don't actually make decisions. It's just advice. You give them 0.5%, a 1/4%, maybe 1.5% max of your company, right? My company, Dirty Dough, was worth nothing. I got John Richards as my senior advisor. He had a company in the late 90s, early 2000s that went public called InfoSpace for $31 billion. Like that's just a different level of business. So with Dirty Dough, I also had to raise $9 million over the first 2 years, like month by month, just always raising money. How did I do that? Well, I had somebody like John Richards, or not somebody like, I had John Richards in my corner, helping me make connections, helping me know how to present it. Because again, he's just a guy at that level is going to think a lot different than me. That is young, as I've only had one business. Um, so surrounding yourself with good advisors, I had him, and then I said, "Okay, John, who's our next advisor?" And he said, "Oh, I know the owner of the largest property management franchise in the world, Property Management Inc. Steve's great. I sat on his board for a while. So, and then we brought on Steve. So now I have John, that's like a really good business capital startup guy. And then I have Steve, that's 20 years expertise in franchising. Um, One of the advisors that I ended up getting as well was the former CEO of Jimmy John's, Greg Majewski, who was an advisor for about 8 months, became CEO in December of 23, and then bought all of Dirty Dough September of 2024. That came from getting an advisor. And why did I get Greg? Well, Greg was specialized in food. So now, I have a business guy, I have a franchise guy, I want a food guy. And Jimmy John's has been the most successful franchise measured by growth in the last 30 years. So it's like, hey, if he built that, he can help over here. So lots of different mentors. Those are only three that I like gave equity to. There's a million more, like the owner of Everbowl, an acai chain that has 100+ locations, that he met with me before I even opened up my first Dirty Dough, told me everything that I was doing basically was wrong, and helped me revamp everything. And that was just because I messaged them on Instagram, and I just like, hey man, this is what I'm doing. Can I meet up? And I just did that with everybody. Um, because going back to John Richards, his advice was, the notion that someone's going to steal your business idea if you talk about it too much is just BS. Ideas aren't valuable. The execution is valuable, right? So then it's like, okay, I'm just going to tell anybody and everybody what I'm doing. And then I'm going to use my Cutco skills, which is all like referral based selling. Like, I'm going to sell you, but before I leave the house, Kevin, you're going to write down 10 names of people that I could potentially contact. And then I'm going to ask you to call them. And as soon as they answer, I'm going to have you give you your little speech that I trained you on, and then hand the phone over to me. And I'm going to set the appointment right there, like referral based, right? And one thing just kind of compounds on from one to another. So continue to ask people. Go ask 50 people for advice on your business. Get a sounding board. Half of them won't respond. Some of them will think you're done, but who cares? A few will, and momentum builds from there.
Yeah, this is really informative. Well, if there is only one key career lesson that you can share with us that you learned the hard way, what would it be?
Um, you're not. I'm not, and you're not. You're not after anything material in life. All of our goals, if you say, what What are your goals? What are all the goals you've ever set for your entire life? You list out, I wanted $1 million. I wanted to sell my first franchise. I wanted a $10 million business. I wanted this. I wanted that. No, I didn't want any of that, right? Because I had it and then I still felt a lack. So what was I lacking? Well, the lack was the emotion. The emotion of whatever that emotion is that you're going to define. But your goals have to be emotional based. Otherwise, you're going to set material goals, hoping that it makes you feel a certain way. You're going to either achieve it really quickly if you're lucky, or spend your whole life. But either way, once you achieve it, you're going to realize that it didn't give you the sense of importance that you're looking for, right? $1 million doesn't do that. The sense of importance comes from being able to only, at least in my point of view, from being able to take Fridays off, even during a startup, even if there's not cash in the bank at all times, even if there's whatever, knowing that my peace is never going to be contingent on external factors. It has to come from me because I can't control everything. I've been trying for several years, and unfortunately, I cannot control the universe. Damn it.
Well, is there a book or a show or a movie that help you shape your career perspective that you can share with us?
Yes, a million of them, but one that I'm listening to right now, I'm not even finished with it. This guy's passed away quite a while ago, philosopher named Alan Watts. This one specifically, I mean, it's as good as anything I've ever read or studied. The title on YouTube, I realized I was never lacking anything, Alan Watts. And it really goes through before you spend your entire life trying to get to the next level, waiting for somebody to give you permission to finally relax, like peace being one of the quotes on there, like peace is not the destination, right? It's like, I'm going to work towards peace and try to find peace and happiness. Peace is not the destination. Peace is the road. And because we're so focused on the destination, we're not paying attention that we're already on the road and we already have it all. That's the general idea behind it. Very different than Western philosophy. But again, I look at Western philosophy, I'm like, if I can't find like a role model of like, that person's mind is the mind I want, as far as the thoughts that go through their head, not an intelligence or wisdom, but like, what are the thoughts that are going through their head each day? Because that controls the quality of your life, right? And are those thoughts that are detaching your happiness and your peace from external environments, or are those thoughts completely continuing to tell yourself the lie of, the next thing, when I get the next business, when I sell the next franchise, then I can relax, then I'll be happy, then I'll do XYZ. I think that's a full, as big of an illusion as we can find in the world.
What are your biggest passion and interests outside of work?
I like fitness a lot. So I've lost 130 pounds over the last few years. Again, because I was like, okay, if I tried everything with work and I achieved everything I ever wanted, I mean, a millionaire before 30, like I didn't even think that was even possible. Achieve that, but it was worth nothing to me because like I was 310 pounds. I couldn't walk up the stairs without breathing hard. So lifting, yoga, stretching, jujitsu, Muay Thai. I've been getting into that again. Because I did wrestling in high school. Super fun. I have 3 amazing kids that we do dates every day, that will go do something. Longboarding. I longboard every day as well, trying to get outside. But again, it's a lot, because when you're only working 20 hours a week, it's like, okay, what are my other hobbies? What are the other things? Travel a lot. So I've been in Mexico every year. I go for like a month. This was the second time we've already gone for this year. So traveling is also super fun. And just, yeah, I think the biggest thing is fitness and hanging out with my family though.
If you had a chance to go back history, personally or historically, to what time period would you like to go back?
Ooh, I think we're living in yesterday. Can I do that? Because like, I think we're living in the best time right now. I think there's more potential, more opportunity, more goodness. Yeah, social media might have you believe otherwise. The news might have you believe otherwise because you see murders and things like that. But if you look at any of those metrics objectively, like we're in safer environments now than ever. The opportunities are great. I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, they said it was a little bit better to buy a house I don't know. No, but I'm going to go with right now. I think the time right now is the best time to live in. Like AI, I can post the next 50 videos in 10 minutes by going to ChatGTP and saying, give me 10 highly controversial I mean, I don't have to do that. I've already done it. It's already in a ChatGTP, right? I mean, it's already in a
Mhm.
custom GTP. Give me the next 50 scripts. Then you go to HeyGen and you plug it in. And HeyGen is a software that you record a video for 5 minutes and it will make a deep fake of you that your wife can't tell apart unless you tell her to look for it, right? Like if you're looking at the lips, maybe you can tell, but if you don't, you can't tell. And then you go to a software like 11 Labs to replicate your voice because that does a better job at HeyGen. Simple immigration. I'm not a tech guy, right? But you got to figure out these basic things.
Mhm.
Then I get all my scripts that ChatGTP made for me, and I just plug them in. And then now I have all of these videos with all of the content, all of the knowledge that's very applicable to me because it has hundreds and hundreds of hours of me talking and thinking, not just about business, but life and philosophy. And man, that's so exciting to me. That is the coolest
It
thing that we
is.
just have so much scale and yeah, I guess the systems that AI allows you to put in place is amazing.
Yeah, I had a chance to use HeyGen as well. You should see me speak in Spanish, and I can really speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on. I was cause that I just wanted to test it, and the movements and the voice really sound great, but I wasn't speaking in Spanish. Just look great. So I actually took the video and I show it to native Spanish speakers. Like, what do you think? I mean, is it really good? They couldn't believe it. They really like it very much. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
unbelievable. So to your point, yeah, absolutely, it's really exciting.
on the translation thing. This was at the airport yesterday. I mean, I saw um, I think he was speaking Mandarin maybe, but he definitely couldn't speak to the counter guy, and they're having that language barrier. And I just got the new AirPod Pro 3s. You can plug, as I was testing them. I speak Spanish. I lived in Mexico for a few years. My wife's from Mexico. I plug these suckers in. You'd hit live translate. Oh crap! That just messed up my audio. Sorry.
No, you're good. We can hear you.
It's connected to my computer. I thought it was going to pick my phone. You
Okay,
plug those in. Wife speaks to me in Spanish, and it's about a 2-second delay. But visually, I can see it, and then the audio, I can hear it translating in real time in English. It's so cool.
amazing, amazing. Yeah,
So
these are
cool.
really great times. Yeah, we are really lucky. Absolutely. Well, if, from the business point of view, how do you stay motivated and inspired in times of challenges at work?
Yeah, really good. I'm going to give you one that I just heard from Alex Ramosi. He says, I talk to my 85-year-old self. Like, what is my 85-year-old self going to tell me about what I'm doing right now? Because a lot of times, like, we look back through those hard times and we're like, man, I'm so grateful for those. If you can, if you can be positive, it's very easy to go back and after you're through it and say, oh, I needed that because look at how I grew. Um, I think that, yeah, I think that's super important. Just going in the future and then coming back and saying, what would I be telling myself now? And I would be telling myself, hey, this is the time you're growing the most. This is the time that you're being, not doing, right? And I think that's also important. Like, it's not, is it about do more? Like, if you can only do a little bit more, make a little bit more money, be a little bit better, then you'll have everything you want. And it's like, or can you just accept what you have right now, right?
Mhm.
And then see the illusion of I'm never gonna get to the finish line because my brain changes the finish line every time I freaking get there. It just sets a new finish line because that's what brains are designed to do, right? The next thing, and progress and efficiencies.
Do you have any career advice for the next generation?
Yes. Don't plan out for more than a year, especially with AI. Because coming back, I guess again, I'm going into philosophy a little bit, but all suffering comes from desire. You can't suffer unless it's a mismatch of expectations versus reality. So, and what everybody else is teaching you or me that I've seen is you just have to have bigger goals. You just have to work harder and do more. When in reality, it's not that. It's the opposite. It's becoming really defining what your goal is. And that goal again can't be material because we don't want material things. It has to be an emotional state. And then just work towards that emotional state. It's a lot easier to run a business when, like, for Franchise Key, the mission statement Solar, I didn't have a mission statement. Dirty Dough, it was built around finding joy and fulfillment despite life's dirtiness in myself and others. So when I'm raising money, rather than saying which of these two options is going to make me more money potentially, it's which of these two options is going to bring me more joy and fulfillment. Now with Franchise Key, it's freedom from constant thought to live a life of ease and gratitude. So as I make decisions, I'm basing off of that emotional and like which of these two hires is going to give me more freedom from constant thought. So my life can be more in line with ease and gratitude. So set up a mission statement and make sure that that is your goal and you relate with it and it's emotional based. And then yes, you have all your material goals, but they're only subset goals to get to that emotional state. Where right now, again, we just set material goals and you just achieve them and then you realize they're empty. And it's only if you're lucky to achieve them quickly, usually you see the pattern of emptiness quicker. If you don't, you wait till you're 65 and you're retired and you're like, oh crap, that was a sham and my life's over, right? And I don't have my health to go actually enjoy it.
For those who like to be in touch with you, what is the best way to be in touch with you? LinkedIn or another medium that you can share?
BennettMaxwell.com has links to all my social medias. Post typically twice a day on everything we're talking about: business, mental health, fitness, family, all of that. Podcast links are there, and then anything about franchising can be found on that website as well.
Bennett, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. That was a great conversation. We truly appreciate it. Yes,
Thanks for the time,
pleasure is
Kevin.
all mine. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I wish you a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, I hope you enjoy this week's episode with Bennett Maxwell. And it was a great conversation. We learned a lot about franchising as well as managing business, also how to manage difficulties in business in the face of difficulties, how to stay motivated and inspired. These are really important insights that we got today, and we really appreciate this time. I hope you enjoyed it. As I always say in the American Business Podcast episode, we always learn something new, at least one thing. But in this episode, we learn many things that was all of us. I hope you like it. Great. What else is happening? Well, if you haven't done so, please visit our website, americanpodcast.tv. We keep it updated. You can see our coming schedule, and you can also learn more about our podcast and our team and our mission and where we are going with the American Business Podcast. American Business Podcast, as you know, we got a YouTube Silver Award a month ago, and we truly appreciate your support. If you haven't done so, please subscribe the American Business Podcast episode. You can see the QR code right here. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our YouTube channel and you can subscribe. We'll truly appreciate it. Would you like to be a sponsor? Would you like to advertise in the American Business Podcast? Please send us an email, americanpodcast@gmail.com. And we welcome businesses, service businesses, as well as product providers to be a part of the American Business Podcast journey as a sponsor or as an advertiser. And it just takes an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. If you like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. The American Business Podcast welcome any business professional, as long as you like to share your professional wisdom, your professional insights, and you like to share what you learn, your experience with our audience. You are more than welcome to be our guest. In that sense, we have an open door to any business professional in the US, as well as globally, of course. If you like to share your ideas with us, what do you think about the American Business Podcast? If you like us to cover a certain subject or like us to have a particular guest, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. Great. What else is happening? Let's talk about what is coming up. Well, as you know, we have an online business networking event, the Connectional America, and the next one is scheduled next Friday. If you like to join us, please scan this QR code and join us. This is a monthly exclusive the American Business Podcast streamed live event, and you'll be able to introduce yourself, your company, your products and services. You'll be able to meet with other business professionals And all these activities, all these conversations and interactions will be streamed live on the American Business Podcast. So you'll be on live on the American Business Podcast, and at the same time, you'll meet with other business professionals. How cool is that? So if you're interested, I hope you can join us. This is the QR code. I have it on the screen. Please scan the QR code and join us. We have limited seating, as you know, every month. And the sooner that you register is better. So you're more than welcome to join us. We have the American Business Podcast membership program. If you'd like to be a member and support the American Business Podcast, please scan this QR code and join us. We have different types of membership programs based on your choice and preference. They come with various benefits as a token of our appreciation. And when you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our membership page. You can learn about the American Business Podcast ABP membership programs available. Pick the one that you like and join and support the American Business Podcast. We'll truly appreciate it. Let's talk about our sponsors, Ms. Excel. If you like to learn Excel and other Microsoft Business software systems in a fun and enjoyable way, consider Ms. Excel. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code. And also, before you check out, I have also a discount code, ABP 2025. It'll give you a discount when you are checking out on Ms. Excel's websites with various courses that you choose. And this code is ABP 2025. That's the discount code. Comes from the American Business Podcast. If you are in the market for an ERP software system, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. That's an accounting system followed by purchasing, operations, and other functionalities of your business all on one platform. That's actually what it does fundamentally for the ERP software systems. And if you're in the market for this type of software systems, consider iTech Inc. They are specialized in SAP and Oracle ERP software systems. They install, configure, train, as well as support these software system and their users. I have their QR code on the screen. You can visit their website. They have their own staff for implementation and support SAP and Oracle ERP systems. Also, if you'd like to learn more about them, you can scan this QR code and get in touch with them. When you get in touch with them, make sure you mention that you heard about them on the American Business Podcast. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a great weekend. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. And in the next episode, we will have new guests, new insights, new business wisdom and information coming to you, just like every other The American Business Podcast episodes. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.